Well, y'all, this is it. Day 7 of Pat Flynn's 7-day live video challenge. Whew. I've made it. Now I can rest. Oh, wait, no. I have to do a show. Is this a show? I don't know. Anyway, you're probably wondering who this crazy girl is. If you don't know me, let me introduce myself. I'm April Roga, aka April 2.0, and I'm known as the Business Friendship Facilitator. And all this week, since May 11th, since May 11th, I have been going live on YouTube, LinkedIn, X, Facebook, all the places using this amazing platform called StreamYard. And I've learned a lot. I have grown. I have engaged. I've had my husband co-host with me. I've hosted by myself. And before I even jump into my recap of what this 7-day experience has been like for me, I want to give some shout outs to the people who have been showing up to support and engage. And that would be Sunny Day 26, High Society Drum Labs, Lachelle Adkins, Kenneth Dunner Jr. Now, Lachelle gets a special shout out because I know Lachelle from a little platform called Clubhouse. Okay, it's not so little. It was huge during the pandemic. And Lachelle is also known as America's Supermom. And she gave me some amazing, sincere compliments during my live stream, as well as today when I went into her Clubhouse room this morning and she was sharing the ways in which I've inspired her because of how I've shown up here. So that has been encouraging. That has been a reinforcement for me. And especially so because I think I mentioned early on in this 7-day stretch that I went silent. I want to say for, I think, 7 years doing live video. I've done behind the scenes. I've done video in certain communities, but I haven't gone publicly live like this to see what happens in 7 years. And that was because I had my fair share, not so fair, but maybe my share of what I would call trolls, haters, disgruntled former friends, etc. And I let that stop me from doing the very thing that I truly love. And that is getting in front of this camera and speaking from my heart. And Lachelle has given me that special oomph to keep going because she shared with me that I made an impact on her. And in this crazy world of social media, where people aren't even really so social sometimes it's media. A lot of people will check their analytics to see, did I get a number of new subscribers? How many likes did I get? And for me, doing this that I love has always been and will continue to be about impact. Whose life am I touching? And I say life singular because it doesn't have to be a certain amount of lives that I'm touching. If I touch one person, if I impact one person that matters. And that matters to me. And I remember that Pat Flynn talks about, if you can help one person get one win, then you can share that one person's one win, the problem that you solve for them. If you can then share that with another person or many persons, that is what gets that snowball rolling. So I'm reading the comments. I can't help myself. Jackie says, glad I could finally make one of your events. It takes a lot to do one each day for a week. Indeed. I've noticed that because I put so much energy into every stream that I do. Oh my gosh, my earrings clanging into my mic. I hear them. It takes so much energy to, especially if you're doing this by yourself. I've had the fortune of having my husband co-host with me a couple of times, and that does take some of the pressure off. But it's even more so a lot of energy when you're doing this by yourself, because you're in conversation with yourself, even though I know y'all are out there. But to keep that level of energy up, because that's what I love to do. I want to give people an experience. It does take a little bit out of you, especially if you have a full day before you do the live streams, which I've been doing at 8:30 every night. And then Jackie also goes on to say, sorry, you dealt with that, meaning the haters and trolls, I assume. But yes, Lachelle definitely supported me. And we'd lost contacts because I haven't been going on the Clubhouse app. But now, because Lachelle showed up here, America's super mom, I believe she has 15 children, by the way, y'all, 15. And if Lachelle can do all the things that Lachelle does in her networking circles and beyond, and podcasting and all the things, then I don't think there's any excuse for any of us to not do the things. And see, I gave a shout out to High Society Drum Labs, and as I anticipated, he is back. 2.0 experience engaged. Yes, we are April 2.0. So I've also had a friend of mine, Sunny Day, Shallow Darling. She has been coming here every day, and I know she also has a very full schedule. So, and also been encouraging me behind the scenes and giving me some feedback. I love that. Okay, maybe I don't always love it. Sometimes I like it, but I don't always love it. But it's an experience. This is how we learn. It's to take a step forward, show up, because 80% of success in life, I think this was a Woody Allen quote. At least that's who I attribute it to. 80% of success in life is showing up. And I have found that that is true for me. Because if you don't do the do, then you can't achieve the thing that you're seeking to achieve. And sometimes you'll stumble, and sometimes you'll fumble. Sometimes you might even fall down and bruise yourself, but you always learn something. All work works, says Myron Golden. It either works for you or it works on you. And this has been working both for me and on me. So I want to recap the 7 days. For those of you who may have not had the opportunity, like I think Jackie said, that she could finally make it to one of my events. Thank you for being here, Jackie. I did make notes about the 7-day recap. I wanted to be very intentional about how I pulled all of this together. And if you missed any part of this journey, then here's what went down as we turned basically traditional networking completely on its head. Day 1 through 3, my primary mission on those first few days was to exercise my live streaming muscle. So check, mission accomplished. You didn't miss too much, but I wanted to be consistent. I wanted to get comfortable again. I wanted to get all the techie stuff out of the way, getting used to pulling up comments such as, "Hello, wifey, I'm so proud of you." I didn't do that in the right order. You know, whatever. "Hello, wifey." And this is my husband, Roy Montero. You may or may not have seen him. And I wanted to get used to being consistent and having this live interaction. I can't always bring up comments because I'm in the middle of talking, and sometimes I decide not to bring up certain comments for whatever reason I have in that moment. And that's been interesting at times. So that was day 1 through 3. And then we did talk a lot during the first few days about empowering words and how important that is. We also got into a little bit of autism talk on the 4th evening because May 14th was my son Morgan's birthday. He just turned 16. He's on the autism spectrum. He's got apraxia and he's non-speaking. And I wanted to get into, and that was also National Apraxia Awareness Day. So I wanted to bring some awareness to that. And that served as a powerful reminder that our virtual presence should reflect not only the business side of things, but there's more to us than the businesses that we are launching or that we're knee deep into. We also have things going on behind the scenes within our lives, our families, and it's okay to share that with the world when you feel comfortable to do so. And I definitely was very led that day to share that. It was very timely that that was happening during this live challenge. And we talked on the 5th day a lot about audience versus community. We unpacked the definitions for that. And my husband and business partner and, of course, bestest friend also joined me as my co-host. And he is the voice of net friending. And I am the face of net friending. So I show up on camera, and he only and will ever, forever and ever and ever, because I asked him, I'm like, is there ever going to be a time? And he's like, nope. He said he will forever show up as audio only. And I guess y'all just have to come back. And I said, just, babe, there's a gnat flying around because, you know, this is what happens on. He wants to show the world that you can build deep relationships with others using only your voice. I am living proof that that is true, because when my husband and I met, we met on a live stream, and I reached out to him through text, and we connected on Skype. I was on video. He was not. He was audio only for the several years that we befriended each other. We jumped in love with each other, all the things. And I did not see him live and in living color outside of a photo until he got off the plane coming from California to Tennessee. That was after a few years. So it's possible. And that is a story for another day. So he joined me and we talked about how powerful deep virtual connections can be, even without being on video. And we broke down the shift from a status quo, maybe even call it mediocre broadcast, to what it looks like to have a true ecosystem where when you have an audience, it's more people looking at maybe a sage on the stage, somebody who's broadcasting one way to you and you're consuming the information, versus having a community. And we unpacked what that meant to each of us. That is what I would define as an intentional space where members, people in the listening lounge, are actively encouraged to connect. In our community, we want people to connect. We want you to share your calendar links. We want you to DM each other. And above all, collaborate and co-create together. So if you join our free school community, which I will talk about momentarily a little bit deeper, we want you to join us and live stream with us and have conversations with us and meet and greet. Okay, I said I was going to talk about it in a minute. So that's what we talked about on day 5. And then last night it's gotten progressively longer every day. The first one, I was amazed. The first the first video that I did was only 32 minutes, I believe. And I was pretty impressed with myself because usually I do go for hours. I can talk and talk. But my husband joined me last night. So, of course, it was not 32 minutes. It was 2 hours because he can talk. And we crossed that 2-hour threshold last night in an epic session. And we dove deep into the infrastructure of what he and I are creating. We were celebrating all of the engagement that we've had on the nights leading up to last night that's happening on LinkedIn and YouTube especially, and talking about how we're overcoming those superficial conversations. My husband always says, if you're going to talk about news, weather, and sports, I'm out. And he always says, my conversations have to be fun, funny, and fruitful. And I agree. I get really bored when it's superficial conversation. I need personal growth conversations, which is why I don't have a whole lot of friends anymore, because I keep my friendship circles very tight knit. I keep it very intentional and very fruitful, because there's only so many hours in a day. And if I am wasting my time having conversations about things that don't move the needle forward, if I can't move the needle forward in my conversations with conversation that's going to elevate me and elevate you, then peace, I'm out. So I'm reading. I know my husband's behind the scenes, y'all, pressing levers and stuff, but I still want to read. Okay. I'll scroll back to that in a second. So throughout this entire challenge, I believe that my core message and my husband's core message has been clear, but if it wasn't, I'm going to make it more concise. That what we are doing with net friending, our people search engine, our movement, it's all about friendship first and business ship, as my husband says, business ship, because he likes to say that. I don't know why. Second, a lot of people like to lead with their credentials, read their resume to you. And to that, I say, let me go do something else while you get through all of that, because what am I going to do with your resume? I want to know who you are first. I want to know your character, your personality. I want to know if we have synergy, energy, chemistry, overlap, alignment, all the things. So the other thing is, for instance, if I want to know more about Jackie, I'm calling out Jackie because I don't know Jackie. And I don't even know how Jackie found me, because I know you said, Jackie, if you're still here, you hadn't had an opportunity to catch my events. I'm looking back at what you said. Yeah, glad I could finally make one of your events. And so I don't know if you found me through other people on LinkedIn who've been sharing these streams, or if you are in Pat Flynn's community. So if you are still here, I would love to know that. And why, of course, you're glad that you could catch this. So I'm intrigued already to know more about Jackie. Now, where do I go to learn more about Jackie? Do I go to LinkedIn, since that's where she is tuning in from? Do I go to YouTube and do a search of her name? Do I go to Instagram? Do I go to Facebook? Do I go to X? Do I go to AI? How do I know what it is that I desire to know about Jackie? So I don't know how you all do it. I would love to know how you vet and discern who people are. Maybe you're meeting them on a Zoom call or inside of a Facebook group, or there's so many places to meet people. How would you go about learn for what you're doing in the world when you want to vet somebody? I don't have a same methodology every time. Sometimes, for instance, with Jackie, since I know she's on LinkedIn, I would start there right now. Or I would go, depending on your name, like, that's 2 L's, right? I don't have my glasses on. Jackie Hallberg. So I don't know how common your name is, but I might do a Google search and see what I can glean. We are connected on LinkedIn. We'll randomly show who's going live. I do a live show every Monday night, so try to support as many other events as possible. I love that. So now I want to check out what you're doing, because I am a curious girl. What I desire to do is cut down the amount of time it is taking for people to get connected with the others that are out there in the world who God already has lined up for you to meet. I don't want to see myself or you typing away looking for somebody and maybe not getting a full picture of who the person is because you've gone to the wrong source, or that you have been searching for 30 minutes, an hour, to pull together puzzle pieces from different platforms. Or worse, I don't want you to give up after 2 minutes because you couldn't find what you were looking for. Which is why my husband and I are creating a net friending people search engine. And the search engine is going to be how people connect. But here is the most important part of what we are creating. we are going to guide everybody who joins our 3-day challenge, which, by the way, is free. And we're going to be doing that on Skool, Skool, the Skool platform. And we're going to guide people in our free 3-day challenge to create 3 key videos that are 60 seconds or less for each video. And it's going to answer, each video answers these 3 questions. The first one is, what problem do I solve and for whom? The second one is, who am I? And the third one, who do I want to meet? We believe that if you answer all 3 of those questions that are 60 seconds or less each, and I imagine you'll use all 60 seconds because it goes by pretty quick. When you answer those questions, then the person who's searching for you is only going to be using 3 minutes of their time to vet you. And they're going to know not all that they need to know about you, but they're going to know what they need to know about you right now in order to decide, do I want to connect with this person? Do I want to do a 15-minute meet and greet to see if we have that synergy, energy, and chemistry? And then from there, after 15 minutes, you'll decide if you want another 15 minutes or 30 minutes or an hour, or if you're me and Roy, sometimes 4 and 6 and 8 hours. That's not our norm. I'm letting you know that we love connecting with people and we love doing it in a video audio environment because we are firm believers that usually you talk past each other in text, context is missing, people are in a hurry and they're typing and there's typos and all the things. And you cannot, it's one thing, I want to say 3 things at one time and it's coming out with a whole bunch of different words. I know y'all know this, but I still want to say it out loud. Video and audio are so much better than text. Video is the best, but if you can't do video or you decide not to do video, then at least do audio like my husband does, because you can hear facial expressions in somebody's voice. You can hear when they're smiling. You can get their cadence through their voice. Do they speak fast? Do they slow themselves down? Are they sounding more thoughtful and intentional in how they deliver their message? So, like for instance, right now I'm talking way too fast. I'm so excited. So that's what we want to do. That's what we're going to do. And that's essentially what I wanted to share in this recap, so that anybody who missed the first 6 days knows in this last video, I can point them to this video and make this my calling card, if you will. When they say, what are you and Roy doing in the world? I can give them a link to this video or a soundbite from this video. And yeah, I'm looking forward to what comes next on this journey. We're gonna keep going live, but not every day, because I had spinal surgery in 2024 and I get stiff and my neck hurts because I sit funny and all the things, which is happening right now because I've already been doing this for 29 minutes. And I do want to keep this super short. as I hear my husband in the kitchen, and he may be like, babe, don't do it yet. Don't go, because I have something I want to share. I don't know. So most importantly, I want to share and impart this thought, a couple of thoughts actually. One is, don't go the journey alone. Find people that you can collaborate with. Find people that you can have a momentum with. People you can check in with using asynchronous chat on a daily basis. I have found that to be so amazing for friendship building. And I'm all about business friendships. We have things in common, we have overlap. Why not stay connected and talk about what we are working on every day and share the joys, share the things that maybe didn't work so well, and learn from each other, encourage each other. So that's one. Number two, what really hit me today as I was listening to a sermon, I had the thought about the people who show up at challenges, summits, online courses, all the things that are out there for us to use as tools, resources. A lot of people show up to take in information. They want to learn, and that is good. And not but, and I will also add, what's great is when you emulate. Hey, that rhymes. I humor myself when I'm here with only my own voice. Emulate the people that you're following, that you are learning from, when you're loving what they're doing. Because what I've found for me is I don't always remember what people say, but I remember their storytelling, the way they share it, the heart that they emote in their stories. I remember how I saw them strategize in how they spoke to people, invited people, how they even sent me an email. What is their email like? How often are they going live? What kind of podcasts are they doing? Oftentimes, you learn the most when you are observing your favorite creator. I probably couldn't tell you, and I love him. I love Pat Flynn. Pat, I love you. And I probably couldn't tell you things that he has said from memory. But I can tell you how he has shown up in the world for this girl. I have felt his heart. I have felt his care for his community. He really does take great care of everybody in his community. He is very thoughtful, and I love him. Did I say I love him? I love Pat. He is one of the most genuine people that I can say I follow and learn from. And I really believe that if you observe what people are doing in the world, you will glean a lot more from them than you probably think. So it's not always about what they're saying, but it's also about how they're saying it, how they're doing what they're doing. And when I say emulate, I don't mean copy them. I don't mean take all their stuff and all the ways that they're doing what they're doing and copy. I'm saying observe their style and then take what you're seeing that they're doing and adapt your style, your personality, infuse your personality into it, and salt and pepper to taste. If you love how somebody's bringing their community together, you bring your community together in that same way, using that same strategy, but do it with your personality, with your flair. And salt and pepper to taste. Everybody needs some salt and pepper, maybe some garlic powder. I don't know. Just saying. So those are the couple of things I really wanted to share tonight. And I do want to make a swift exit because I'm hurting. Be vulnerable. I'm not telling you what to do, but when you are vulnerable, when you're open, when you are animated, energized, you will attract those types of people. Yes, I do need to go rest. I agree. I do agree. And yes, don't go it alone. And yes, Pat is the Pokemon guy. Pokemon. He's got the Deep Pocket Monster YouTube channel. So if you're into Pokemon, definitely check that out. He's got, his channel blew up quickly. It did, in a good way. I wish I was into Pokemon so I could see more Pat Flynn, but I'm thinking. I know there's so much to cover, but I can't do it all in one sitting. And one thing I've also learned from this experience is that, which I already know, most people have a really short attention span. So stick with a few things to talk about and then land your plane there, because tomorrow is another day. So that said, thank you. You know, when you're sitting in front of the camera and you're wanting to be centered and not move too much because you might have to use this in one of those 9x16 deals. My neck doesn't move as well anymore either since my back surgery. So yeah, I will definitely get some rest. And I did want to put up here before I go, that if you want to join our free community, you can type in the URL that I have at the bottom manually, or you can point and click at that QR code up on the screen, which I never know. Is it there? Is it there? Because on my screen, it's over here, but on replay, apparently it was over there. So I'm not even pointing now. So my free school community, we do live streams twice a week that are scheduled, but we also do impromptu. Like tomorrow, we're doing a meet and greet with a lady that we met in the School of Mentors community, which is also on the school platform. We wanted to find out more about what she's doing in the world. So we scheduled something for tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. What is it about that time? I don't even know. So we do impromptu meet and greets and master classes and masterminds, and it's in the free community. So please do consider joining us if everything that I've shared is, as they say, up your alley. And I look forward to getting to know y'all better. For those of you who are still here, thank you for remaining with me throughout this experience. And for those of you who have continued to show up and support and encourage, I appreciate you. And yeah, let's make some intentional connections from this point forward. Again, I want to shout out Pat, Flynn, and Liz and David, also on the SPI team. Thank you for putting these challenges together and encouraging us and following up with us and checking in on us. I appreciate it. I know the rest of the community does too. And I hope y'all do more challenges, because anything that has Pat's stamp of approval, Pat's sponsorship, I am there. I'm there if I can be there. So with that, I will say thank you to my husband, who is blowtorching something in the kitchen. I can hear it. Thank you, babe, for thank you to my husband for co-hosting and supporting me and encouraging me, and also for pouring into me a bunch of one-liners that caused me to go from, I can't not do this, for causing me to go from, where did it go? From this on the left to that on the right. That is all my husband's doing. The shy, inferior looking, shrinking Violet on the left to the bright, upright, looking into the camera instead of looking at myself person that you see, who's way more confident, to, of course, the person you see now. Thanks, babe. And with that, I'm going to say goodbye, good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. And this is adios, but not goodbye forever. We will be back soon, but I do need a break for maybe a week. So keep your eyes peeled, and I will talk to you later. Ciao for now.